Today, Governor Greg Abbott took a different tone from previous press conferences when asked about the state's power grid.
He's now saying there's a chance for outages. CBS Austin Christian Flores joins us now live. And Christian, this has turned into a huge political talking point for both sides now. Why is the governor not as confident anymore as he was earlier in the year?
Well, Governor Abbott reiterated a few times this morning that we could see some power outages, but not related to the power grid, as in trees or ice falling on power lines. One energy expert tells me she also does not expect to see any sort of widespread power outages like we experienced last year, and is actually on board with this kind of messaging from the governor. How confident are you the power grid won't fail again like it did last winter? And if it does, would you call a special session for that?
So I'm extremely confident that the power grid is stable. No one will face danger again from a power failure.
That was 2 months ago. But this morning, Governor Greg Abbott backtracked from this confidence somewhat, opening the door to power outages for this week's forecasted winter weather.
There could be either ice on power lines that would cause a power line to go down, or it could be ice on trees. That doesn't mean that there are challenges with the power grid.
This messaging, however, is a breath of fresh air for energy consultant and former PUC Chief of Staff Allison Silverstein.
It shifted from chest beating to reassurance. It's useful for them to finally be telling people more details about all the measures that have been taken, and while not offering false reassurances as to that nothing could happen.
Abbott repeatedly said any outages will not be related to the power grid, but said load shedding is not out of the question. Load shedding happens when there's not enough electricity being generated on the power grid to meet demand, so some power has to be shut off.
No one can guarantee that there won't be a, quote, load shed event.
Load shedding is a deliberate order from grid providers, whether it's from ERCOT or an individual utility, that says, I don't have enough power to serve all the people.
We reached out to the governor's office on why this shift in tone, and they provided us a statement saying the new laws should ensure a reliable power grid, but there's always a possibility for outages. But energy experts have chided the new state law requiring winterization because it does not force natural gas facilities to make these preparations before this winter. Natural gas freezing up last year has been cited as a major reason for last year's widespread outages because they power the power plants providing electricity to the grid and homes.
Last winter, there were only 60 facilities in Texas that were designated as critical infrastructure. Now there are more than 1,500.
Many of those are likely winterized to some degree, but a significant amount of the gas production system has not been winterized.
And it's important to note the National Weather Service does not project this week's weather to be anywhere close to as severe as last year's February freeze, and there should not be any sort of widespread power outages across the state. That's why Silverstein says she does not believe there's going to be any sort of power grid related outages this week. Reporting live in North Austin, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.